Alright, so we should be streaming now. Yeah, this is just going to be a severe weather stream. I'm going to be talking about what we have ongoing for storms right now, because it's pretty active. As you guys can see, especially around the Nashville area. Nashville is now under a severe thunderstorm warning. So we're going to be talking about that in this live stream, and this whole sort of line of storms. We did have a tornado warning to the west of Nashville, but they have taken it away, which it didn't look like it was really. It didn't really like that. Like it didn't look like that was a good decision. But let's see if it's or what we have. It was this same storm right here, and yeah. So looks like we do still have rotation with this. Let's take a look at it on the radar scope. We do still have rotation, but it has weakened a lot, which that is good. So yeah, it looks like, yeah, it's really broad now. Not much, or not really any tight circulation anymore. Further to the east, though, I've been watching this for a while, because there is some interesting looking little circulations. Now this is kind of it's not that far away from the radar actually, but yeah, I'm gonna try and do something in a second. Yeah, so it seems like, okay, so this pink box right here is a severe thunderstorm watch. This giant yellow circle is the, yeah, so this giant yellow circle, it's kind of hard to see because there's so much stuff open. It goes all the way down into Texas. That is the slight risk. Then this yellow box right here, that's a tornado watch. Yeah. And this is a large mesoscale discussion. I'm actually going to take some of these layers up. It looks kind of confusing to look at. I'm going to leave the categorical outlook on. I'm going to take off some of the watches and that kind of stuff. Alright. Forgot how to do this, sorry. I'm going to keep on storm reports. Why did I click that? Oh my god. Alright. That's what I'm going to turn off. Some of these for now. So I don't want... I want all these, because those are the most important. Now, I gotta turn off the watches. Which I, of course, forgot how to do. Oh, it was right down here. I'm stupid, okay. Alright, well now that's off, so this is a little bit more easy to look at, so that's good. Yeah, we have a lot of flash flood warnings. Which that's a pretty big deal tonight, but that's not going to be the focus of this live stream. Alright, so yeah, as you guys can see, I do have Radar Omega now, so I have two, I have Radar Scope and Radar Omega to use. I'm still getting used to Radar Omega. I haven't really used it a whole lot. I've only had it for around 2 months, but yeah. So this complex of storms coming into Nashville, it extends all the way up into southern Kentucky. Looks pretty strong. Severe thunderstorm warnings. Yeah. Now, I'm going to try to get... I hope the live stream is working. I have no clue if it's working or not right now. So sorry about that. Trying to make sure the live stream is working. This is my first live stream in a while, so it's my first live stream in a while, so it's kind of, I'm not really doing that good. Alright, so now, yeah, we don't have any tornado warnings right now, which is good. We did have a lot of hail reports earlier around northern Texas and southern Oklahoma. One of 1.5 inches right there. And yeah, you have a ton of flooding reports. A lot of them. So yeah, flooding was pretty significant today. We still have a lot of ongoing flash flood warnings, and our complex of storms is now in this area. And I want to start looking and see. I want to start looking out for circulations, because today is a day where we could have some brief spin-ups. So yeah. Now let's get this to load. Probably gonna take a while. Alright, there you go. So we're using the Jackson radar, okay. So yeah, we don't really have anything that looks too good with that storm. Nothing that looks too tight. So for this, we're going to use the Nashville radar for the further south area of the line. And you can see we do have some interesting looking stuff over here. Now, let's go over to reflectivity and see what we have on reflectivity, of course. So it does look like we have a storm kind of in front of the line. On reflectivity, it doesn't look super cellular, on reflectivity at least. It's right on top of Marrow Bone, into the northwest of Burkesville. It's in front of this main line. Now this over here looks interesting. That looks like it could have some. Yeah, this one right here looks like it could have some, looks kind of like a supercell. It's missing some of the characteristics, but it has some of them. And it's a little bit more discrete than these cells in front of this line, and like in the line, and in front of it. It's more discrete than this cell right here. It's more discrete than this. Now let's take a look and see if it has any velocity. Or not velocity, sorry. Let's see if it has any rotation, and it does not seem like it does. It does look like we have range folding though. You see, with Radar Omega, it doesn't do what Radar Scope does. It doesn't turn range folding into purple. Into purple color, so you can obviously tell it's range folding. It just, the pixels aren't there. So that can be a little bit more helpful, I guess. So you don't have as much different colors to look at. Now this up here by Burkesville looks a little bit interesting. And let's turn on these two panes here. This is of course going to take a while. Alright, there we go. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, this does look a little interesting. Right there. I wish it would show up on both sides like it does on Radar Scope, but yeah, we have a little bit of rotation in that area. There's actually several circulations, just even one further to the northeast. Right there, and then we go back down into Nashville where we have this storm that used to be a tornado warned. Not even tornado possible with a severe warning. So that's, I guess, good. And yeah, so we did have a severe thunderstorm warning in the south side of this line a little bit ago. This was a storm to the north of Shreveport. Now let's see what the south part of this line is doing. Alright, so the south side seems to, yeah, it looks a little bit weaker. Some of it is still, or some of it does still have special weather statements. Actually, let's look at Radar Scope for a little bit here. So the south side of this line, we do have some interesting looking storms, a few of them. None of them are severe warning though. We have some special weather statements up here, but none of these storms are severe warnings. So that is good. Let's take a look at velocity, see what we have going on. We don't seem to have any interesting circulations. Most of it is broad. We don't really have any tight circulations. This one right here, that looks a little interesting. It doesn't look tornadic, but definitely something we could watch. And yeah, so these two storms right here, actually 3 of them, appear pretty, they're just pretty good. They're on the south side of this kind of disorganized line. We're on the south side of it, so we're gonna have a better chance of producing tornadoes. And we have a ton of flash flood warnings to the south of Little Rock. And we can change to the Little Rock radar. We have that looks like a strong storm to the south of Memphis. Let's take a look at velocity. Alright, so it looks, okay, so the velocity looks to be messed up. But we probably do have a little bit of rotation in this area. We don't know how much though. Maybe if we switch, yeah, no. I'll have to see if that gets any better over time. But that storm definitely looks interesting on reflectivity. Inflow. Has some characteristics of a supercell. Also, like I said, a lot of these storms do. Not all of them, but this one has this one looks like an embedded supercell. Yeah, we move up the line, and then we still have these severe thunderstorm warnings in the Nashville area. These storms are also still producing pretty large hail. The hail threat has gone down a little bit. We do still have that chance of large hail. There's some hail reports behind this of baseball-sized hail right there, teacup-sized hail right there. And these are MPing reports, so sometimes these could be kind of unreliable. We do have 2 of them, so two very large reports of hail. 350 with that one and 3 inches with this one, so the storm doesn't appear to have that big of hail and reflectivity, but it could, because we have 2. Now if we get a few more, then the better chance it actually does. But yeah, like I said, sometimes MPing reports can be unreliable. And we do have reports of diamond pea-sized hail over here from behind this storm. It's on top of Westmoreland right now. So we do have some significant flooding with this. There's a lot of flash flood warnings. And yeah, so we can also, let's go down to the Huntsville radar. We have these more isolated storms firing out in front of the line. None of these look extremely interesting, just some, maybe like a secondary line forming, but it's a little bit, it's not really organized. None of these seem to have rotation that stands out to me at all. So yeah, we're gonna have to see we're gonna have to see if we're gonna even have any more tornadoes today. It would be good if we don't. Hopefully it stays, or hopefully that is what happens, but we always have that chance for tornadoes. We do still have a 5% risk for today, I'm pretty sure. Let's go to the Storm Prediction Center here. And yes, this is the new outlook. This just came out around 25 minutes ago. 20 to 25 minutes ago. We have a slight risk from northeastern Texas up into southern Kentucky. And then we still have, the SPC still has a 5% tornado risk from northeast Texas all the way into southern Kentucky, and a 2% all the way up into West Virginia. So the SPC is still expecting that we might see a few more tornadoes today. And I don't even think we've seen confirmed tornadoes today. We don't have any tornado reports. And I don't think we've had any confirmed tornadoes today. So hopefully it stays that way. Hopefully today's tornado threat busts. But the severe weather threat definitely has not busted so far. And yeah, so that's pretty much all we have going on at this line. And go back to, let's take a look at this storm. This storm is the most interesting right now. Okay, this right here, that looks interesting. The reason for that is because that's right in this notch right here. So that's where I would expect it to be. Even though it's not very strong rotation, that is right in that area, so we're gonna have to watch that cell for sure, because that is really close. That's in a pretty populated area also. That's not good. We have this severe thunderstorm warning for Lafayette and Westmoreland. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not. Seems like straight line wind throughout this for sure. Not a lot of, or no strong rotations that really stand out to me with this line. Just mainly a straight line wind threat. Now this by Burkesville or these rotations over here by Burkesville, these have been standing out to me for a long time. It's with these kind of, not supercells, but with these storms in front of the actual main line. So they're not isolated at all. They're embedded in rain. Now this one right here, like I said, this one still has characteristics of a supercell, although it's in between. We don't really have many good radars for it. It seems like the Jackson one might be better for this cell. Yeah, does seem maybe it does seem like this could be a supercell, and we do have, or maybe broad rotation with that. Nothing really tornadic though. But like I said, we do have several storms to watch. Nothing really tornadic right now. We have a lot to watch. Alright, so the National Weather Service of Nashville has just let this expire. Or the severe thunderstorm warning expires, sorry. And Nashville is under a flash flood warning. So yeah. I mean, now we're only left with 3 flash flood warnings. They're all in Tennessee, and no, not all in Tennessee. One's in Kentucky and 2 are in Tennessee. Okay, okay, it's now back out. All right. So yeah, new severe thunderstorm warning for Nashville and areas east of Nashville. You can see this storm still has very interesting appearance. Vivid inflow notch right there. Alright, wait, what size hail is this? $half size hail, okay. But it's hard to see if we have rotation due to range folding. So that sucks. So yeah, now I'm gonna wait for the next scan to come in and see if we have anything. And yeah, so just gonna wait for that. But while we are waiting, we can go look a little bit further to the north and see what we have. So, alright, yeah, this is a relatively new scan from 8:32, and we have still that straight line wind throw right there. Something could spin up along that. And we have this rotation right here. That rotation right there is with this I'm not gonna say it's discrete. It's embedded completely in rain, but with this storm in front of the main line. The main line extends from Edmonton up through Columbia, maybe up towards I think it's Liberty right there, and Jamestown, Russell Springs. This maybe could be a supercell. It's kind of hard to tell because there's not really a good radar for this. That's moving northeast into Jamestown and Russell Springs. Still no new severe warnings. But the majority of the alerts we have right now are flash flood warnings, as you guys can see. We have 30 of them. 3 of them are severe thunderstorm warnings. We have 27 flash flood warnings. So it's very significant. Alright, so let's wait for the new reflectivity scan and the new velocity scan to come in on the Nashville radar, so we can see how our storms are doing. And if this storm does spin up around Nashville, that's going to be very bad, because this is the north side of Nashville is a populated area, of course. Alright, new scan came in from 8:34 Eastern. That's Eastern time. So if you're in Nashville, I'm pretty sure Nashville's in Central Time. Central Time. Yeah, I think Nashville is in Central Time. So if Nashville is in Central Time, it is 7:36 there, of course, right now. Well, you can see with the new scan, that inflow notch is still right there. And we'll go to velocity. It's really hard to tell if we have rotation now because of range filling. So I hope that, I don't think it's going to go away. So maybe we could look at a different radar for this. Oh yeah, we can look at the one to the north. Alright, so we still have a pretty good view of this Nashville cell. We can see we have our inflow notch right there. Okay, we do have rotation. That's a little bit worrying. This right here. Now we're gonna have to see if the National Weather Service in Nashville puts out another tornado warning for this. It's really hard to tell right now with the Nashville radar because, like I said, we have range folding, so we can't exactly see it. See if we have any rotation, but the storm does look. Even on the Nashville radar, you can't look at velocity and see if we have rotation. You can tell it has that chance though, just from reflectivity, because you can see. I mean, even if it didn't have the inflow notch, there's still a good chance it could have rotation, but we most likely have rotation or some kind of maybe meso. Not really a meso. We most likely have rotation because we have that inflow notch. It's not as vivid as it was before, but it does still exist. Alright, now we're going to move up further, up to these storms in north of Nashville. Seems like there's nothing really spinning up along here yet. Still something to watch. And then this rotation here, that is still there. This is far away from the radar, so this is pretty high up. But we do have some broad rotation. We go to reflectivity and we can see it's with that cell. And then the other main cell that I'm watching is this one right here. This one, it's not looking as good as it used to, but we still see it does have that rotation. And then, so yeah, that's all of our severe warning storms right now. We only have 3 of them. And there's a few more I'm watching up in Kentucky. And then, not much to look at in Texas and Louisiana, that area. Although we do have a lot of interesting looking storms with kind of mini hooks on them. A lot of these have little hooks. We go to velocity. We go to velocity. We don't really see much rotation at all with these. So I'll have to see what these do if they're able to go tornadic and produce anything. And down into central Texas, we don't have a whole lot of activity with any supercells or anything, or even Alliance storms. I don't really have that out there in central Texas. There is still a marginal though in this region, so the National Weather Service, or not the National Weather Service, sorry, the SPC still thinks that there is a potential for severe storms in that area of central and western Texas. You can see how marginal goes all the way to extreme western Texas, and then we have that slight risk from northeastern Texas all the way into southern Kentucky. So, yeah. Not a whole lot to look at right now. This is not a major severe weather outbreak or anything. It's the last day of February still. We still have a long way to go with the severe weather season. In fact, the severe weather season hasn't even started yet. Alright, well, alright, let's go see if we have a new scan of the Nashville radar yet. Alright, yeah, we had the 838 scan. That storm's right on the north side of Nashville, which is not good. Doesn't seem like we have any rotation though, or any low-level rotation. We can now see that a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't seem like we have any. Maybe a slight bit. Nothing, like I said, or like I've been saying, most of these circulations are nothing tornadic, but they have the ability to go tornadic if they get more tight. But we go to a further, or we go to a different radar. For example, we go to this one in southwestern Kentucky, and we see we do have some pretty decent looking rotation. But it's a little bit higher up though. Now, if we can get that at the ground, that would probably be when we get a tornado warning. When we go back to the Nashville radar and we go to a higher tilt, we can go to like tilt 3 and move to the velocity. The Nashville radar actually doesn't even show that. It barely shows any rotation, which is actually kind of interesting. Yeah, it doesn't even show rotation. But the Fort Campbell radar shows rotation about, let's see how far above the ground. So the Fort Campbell radar shows rotation about around 3,000 feet up. Yeah, around 3,000 feet up. Okay, so then we go back to the Nashville radar once again. The first tilt is only 500. See a lot lower. Even if we go to the highest tilt, which is tilt 4, it's still too low compared to the Fort Campbell radar, which has it at 3.5 KFT. Wow. The Nashville radar only has it at 1.8. So it's very well possible that we have rotation higher up in the storm than the Nashville radar can show. In fact, it's likely we do. But yeah, we can go to let's go with the HRRR model while we're waiting for much to happen and see what it's forecasting for the rest of the night. So we want to. I'm gonna look at reflectivity UH greater than 75 because this is my favorite thing to show forecasted reflectivity. As you can see, once the line goes through Nashville, it starts to die out, still posing a damaging wind threat, but the hail threat goes down quickly, and so does the tornado threat. With most likely the only tornado threat being limited to southern Tennessee and further south, maybe in Texas. And then that part of the line weakens also throughout the night, which is a damaging wind threat. So it looks like the tornado threat might be going down with this. Yeah, it looks like it's going down, but it is still there, the potential for tornadoes, which is why I'm live streaming. Alright, we have a new scan. It's the 843 scan. The cell is almost right on top of the radar. This line. And we go to velocity. Yeah, it's still right there. We can still barely even see anything due to range falling, and because it's so close to the radar now. But we can go back to the Fort Campbell radar and see. Now we should have a new scan. We have the 841 one, and yeah, the rotation does seem to have weakened a little bit. But it's still on the north side of Nashville. So we can go back in time. This is when it was let's go back to the beginning of this. This is when it was tornado warned before. Oh wait, no, okay. Okay, sorry about that. That's the other storm. I don't know if that was. I think that might have been tornado warned before. I'm not sure though. Yeah, we can see this was hit before, and then it's had that rotation to the northwest of Nashville. It actually looked pretty good around 826. Then before that, it was right over Ashland City. With some light or some weak to moderate rotation. Nothing like violent over that area. And now it's in the northeast side of Nashville, so it's kind of weakening a little bit. So we're gonna have to see what this does still. Alright, now we don't have any new severe thunderstorm warnings going on yet. We did, or no, we still have this one right here, sorry. Alright, so yeah, so flooding is still a very big deal with this. And you can actually pull up the Weather Prediction Center here. And yeah, the Weather Prediction Center has a moderate risk for excessive, or it's called an excessive rainfall outlook, but it's really probability of rainfall exceeding flash flood guidance. So kind of the probability of flash flooding. Now we do have that. We do have a moderate risk for that in areas of Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, northeastern Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, and we have a slight risk going all the way down to northwestern Louisiana and going all the way up into southwestern PA. And tomorrow we still have a flash flooding threat. It's just a little bit further to the south from central Louisiana over into eastern Tennessee and into central Mississippi. And for day 3, it moves across central South Georgia, central and southern Alabama, and extreme eastern Mississippi, and a little bit of southern South Carolina also. So yeah. And we can also look at the Weather Prediction Center's current surface analyst. And this is from around 4 p.m. today. We have the cold front stretching from our low up in UP in Michigan. And the cold front is what is setting off our strong line of storms today. Now, if we had maybe a low further to the south, like in this area, or not in that area, sorry. I'd say probably maybe riding along this cold front to this on the south side of this. Then those storms by Texas, Louisiana, and other storms in northeastern Texas, northwestern Louisiana, and southwestern Arkansas, this could have a better chance of producing supercells. Or not producing supercells, producing tornadoes, I'm sorry. If we had that. And we can also look at the SPC's mesoscale. I gotta find it though, so. Alright, here we go. Okay. So, right here, okay. And yeah, so with this we can see pretty much what we have for storms. I didn't want this one. Alright, sorry this is taking so long. Trying to get a good sector. Alright, here we go, so. This radar barely shows anything. Don't know why. But, yes, we can see right now we have, let's look at 100 millibar ML Cape. We have 1,000 Cape going all the way up into almost Tennessee, around the Memphis area. 1,500 already, or almost going all the way up into the Shreveport area. And a little bit of almost 2,000 Cape in some of southern Texas now. You can see we have capping in front of this, though. So it's going to limit some of the potential for storms in this area. And we have a little bit of capping behind this main line. Notice surface observations, it's 70. We have a 69-degree dew point in Shreveport. In Tyler, Texas, we have a dew point of 63. And behind this, like in Dallas, Fort Worth, we have dews in the 40s and the 50s. And, yeah, and then we go further south. Houston has dew point around 71. And yeah, so we can also go further north. We zoom in here to make it a little bit easier to see. Nashville has a dew point of 62, and yeah. Here, wait a second. Alright, so yeah, Nashville has a dew point of 62 right now. Memphis has a dew point of 59, because the line has kind of gone through Memphis now, so that dew point's going to start to drop. Down further south, Tupelo, Mississippi, dew point of 63. Oxford, I'm pretty sure that is, dew point of 63. And so yeah, we have dews mainly in the 60s, with some dews scraping 70 as far north as southern Arkansas and northern Louisiana. And yeah, and right behind this cold front, like in central Texas, we have dews almost in the 20s in some areas. So definitely a pretty strong cold front. And yeah, so let's take a look at violent tornado parameter. I like this sometimes. In my opinion, it does decent at showing where tornadoes could happen. I don't like the it's kind of like a supercell composite. A significant tornado parameter. People misuse it. Like this isn't the most important thing we're gonna look at all. We can see we have just twos in areas of Tennessee and maybe northwestern Mississippi. The things that are more important will be like bulk shear, effective bulk shear, and other things like storm relative felicity. Now we have effective bulk shear of 70 knots, almost 75 knots in some areas, right on top of our storms in Tennessee. So that's pretty significant. And then we have storm relative felicity 0 to 3 kilometer, of 300 to 350 in areas of northern Tennessee. We have around 300 extending all the way from northern Mississippi into southern Kentucky. And down in Texas, though, we have limited storm relative felicity, where we have these supercells trying to go off in northwestern Louisiana, northeastern Texas. We only have 150, so pretty low in that area. And yeah, so let's go back to wind shear. Say we'll get surface to 1 kilometer. Not a whole lot of it in this area. The most of it's located around right to the east of Nashville. Actually, so that's pretty interesting. Alright, so let's go back to radar scope now. We still have no tornado warnings. Nashville was under a severe thunderstorm warning. We're getting hit by the strongest part of the storm now. And we go to the Nashville radar. It's on the Nashville radar now, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's on the Nashville radar. Not really helpful to look at the Nashville radar for this cell, so let's look at the ones sort of to the north. Let's go up to the Lafayette area and see if these have any rotation. Our radar scope seems to be going a little bit slow. Yeah, it looks still to be mainly a straight line wind threat. We could still have that chance of a brief spin up, especially in this area right here. That's kind of what I'm watching. Right around the Tennessee-Kentucky border. Looks to be the most interesting with that part of the storm. Or that part of the line. Alright, well, not a lot of activity going on right now. I'm going to check the chat real quick because we don't have much going on. Alright, so yeah, I'm just going to check the chat for a second. Yeah. Alright, so not a lot of activity, like nothing going on in chat. That's fine. Alright, okay. So storm is still over the Nashville radar. We can let's go to the Fort Campbell radar again. Alright, so yeah, the Fort Campbell radar shows a completely different story. That looks very interesting. Right to the north of Green Hill in this area. Let's go to velocity. See what we got. Radar scope is being very slow right now. That looks good, but keep in mind this is pretty far up, and the Nashville radar did not show that at all. But this is a lot. This is further up, much further up than the Nashville radar can even show. On radar, that's much further up than the Nashville radar can show on the radar scope. If we had GR2, we can look higher. My GR2 like broke. I think I'm gonna fix that. Alright, so let's go back down to the Shreveport area. Alright, here we go. So these two cells right here look very interesting. Right to the west or to the southwest of Oil City, and right to the north of Scottsdale. We go to velocity, which is going to take a long time. We don't really have any rotation though. Maybe a little bit by Oil City. That's right to the west of it though, not really where I'd expect it to be. And we do have a little bit, potentially right there. And if we zoom in for a second. Alright, yeah, we zoom in. It's kind of right over this road. We have a little bit maybe of broad, maybe a little bit of broad rotation right here. But nothing significant for sure. It doesn't seem like we have much, or we don't really have a whole lot of significant rotations right now. So hopefully it stays that way. We don't have any tornadoes during this live stream. Yeah, and keep in mind these storms have enough shear to work off of. These storms have enough instability. They don't have a lot of shear, so they're kind of just supercells that could produce some tornadoes, but they may not. They probably can't. And also, one other thing that could be a problem for this is these storms may be outflow dominant, because looks like we have an outflow boundary kind of right there. So that's probably the issue. But these two storms are definitely something to keep an eye on. And yeah, so let's go back up here to Nashville. Let's go to the Nashville radar. And yes, our storm is still right on top of Nashville. We're gonna see how, once it gets away from the radar, how if that storm is still doing well. And then we have severe thunderstorm warnings up in northern Tennessee and southern Kentucky. And we don't have any, we still have that. I think we still have those rotations, yeah. This one by Jamestown, which I've been watching since it was in this area. It hasn't, it's kind of hard to tell if it still exists. Because we have range fully, of course, right here. And then, seems like we might have something trying to come together somewhere in this area. It's really messy, but maybe that's definitely something to watch. And yeah, so I am planning on live streaming for every enhanced risk that we have. Every enhanced risk of the SPC issues. Unless I can't because I have something with school or something. Especially every moderate risk we have, or the SPC issue. Sorry. And if there's a high risk, I'll probably skip school to live stream that. And yeah, so if it's a slight risk, kind of like tonight, and I think it looks good, then I will live stream also, if I have time. Which I have a lot of time tonight, so. That's why I am streaming. Tonight did look good, but right now it's not really being too impressive. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of activity with tornadoes or anything. We have a lot of severe weather, like flash flooding, that kind of thing. We don't have a whole lot of tornadoes at all. And this is not a tornado outbreak or a severe weather outbreak. This is just a severe weather event, is what I like to call it. It's not really significant. But we do have pretty strong damaging winds though with this line going through Nashville. It extends all the way down to southern Tennessee. Then up into Kentucky. I am thinking about reopening the radar scope here because it's very slow. So let's reopen it. Alright, here we go. So that's better, yeah. Alright. And we're still staying at around 30 warnings. Alright, so the storm has now passed to the east of the Nashville radar. It is now the storm has now passed to the east of the Nashville radar. It is now, of course, to the east of the Nashville radar, so we'll be getting better views of it by every scan now. So that's good. Because right now it's way too close to the radar for us to even look at velocity. We can see it on reflectivity though. It has an interesting looking shape. And yeah, so not a whole lot to look at still. This line did go through Memphis. This cell down here to the south of Memphis, so I haven't looked at this in a while, but that cell still looks interesting for sure. And it actually looks like we do maybe have some broad rotation with it. So we're going to have to see what that does. Alright. So, alright, so we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Well, not new. It's been canceled for areas further back, though, because the storm has now moved to the east of Nashville. And, yeah, so still has maybe an embedded supercell shape to it. And the storm as part of the line up by Burkesville definitely has the appearance of a storm that will produce very strong winds with it. Yeah, we have this rear notch right here. That normally, which from my experience of looking at radar, that most storms that have that likely produce damaging winds. And yeah, so this storm is heading towards Albany, Kentucky, Monticello, Kentucky, and further to the east, Pine Knot, Steams, and Williamsburg. So yeah, it's going to continue moving kind of southeast, and it will eventually die, especially once it gets into southern Tennessee, northern Georgia, and northern Alabama. Alright, so let's go back to the Shreveport radar, see what these storms are doing. Nothing significant still. No good areas of rotation. So not really the most important thing to look at right now. Just like with these storms, damaging wind and large hail, it's the main threats with those. Okay, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning now. That's for that storm to the south of Memphis. Yep, it's for this storm. It's right to the north of Oxford now. And is it a tornado possible? Let's see. Nope, no tornado possible. But we do have maybe some rotation coming in right there. We'll have to see. This could be our next tornadic storm. Doesn't really look too good in reflectivity anymore. Alright, so we go back up here into Nashville area. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning now. It's just a continuation of this one for the same cell we've been watching for a long time. It's not looking too good. It's getting a lot more embedded in the line of storms. It's getting much more embedded than it used to be. So that's not really the most important storm anymore. I'd say the one in northern Mississippi is looking very good. And yeah, we still have this line up here by Burkesville that looks interesting. And still definitely a strong wind threat with this. Not looking as good for straight line winds as it used to be. But the strong wind threat still exists. And some small hail at this part of the line. Now further to the south, there's a better chance of large hail. Alright, there's nothing going on in the chat, but I don't know, is the live stream like is the live stream like lagging a lot? If there's anybody that can say anything in chat. I don't know. Okay, yep, we have a new tornado warning to the northwest of Shreveport. First tornado warning of the live stream. But yeah, please tell me if the live stream's lagging in the chat. I would really appreciate that. Alright, so with this nice looking hooking cell. Doesn't seem to have very strong rotation. Looks to be the strongest is somewhere in there. Maybe let's switch radars to see higher up in the storm. There's really no good radars for that at all. Yeah, you can't. If there was radars closer to this, but like the perfect area would be like right around Longview, maybe by Hawkins. Around that distance would be good. But yeah, so that is our tornado warning. I'm not sure exactly why. Or I know why it's tornado warning. There's rotation, but it doesn't seem like it's very strong rotation. Alright, Yeah, we're gonna watch that for sure. And we got this cell up to the south of Memphis. Not even to the south of Memphis anymore. It's right to the north of Oxford, Mississippi. And with that, we have a severe thunderstorm warning with maybe some rotation right to the west of Abbeville, or maybe to the north of Abbeville. It's kind of hard to tell. But, yeah. And then the north side of Nashville is going to hit pretty hard. And all of Nashville is getting hit pretty hard right now. But this storm is continuing moving to the east. It's a lot more embedded than it used to be. And the rotation, that's pretty much gone. The biggest straight line wind threat seems to be kind of like this. Going up into Gainesboro, Albany, Kentucky, and Livingston, Tennessee. And this storm by Burkesville still has a severe thunderstorm warning with that. So yeah, now let's go back down to our tornado warning in Louisiana. Oh, yep, so here it is. It's for cities in that is Oil City, Cotton Valley, Sarepta, I don't really know how to say that, Spring Hill, and Cullen. So yeah. Alright, so let's see if we got a new scan for this. Yeah, this is the 9/11 one, so this is pretty recent. We don't have a whole lot of tight rotation, it's mainly broad here, but I see why they warned it at least. Looks like we have rotation right there. It doesn't seem like the strongest rotation we've had for this whole live stream, but I mean, it is good that they tornado warned it just to be safe. That did surprise me though, because I mean, this is right in the area where there is 150 0 to 3 kilometer storm velocity. It's right in that area, so there is enough for it to produce a tornado. Overall though, there's not a whole lot of shear in this area. Like I said, there is enough to produce tornadoes. Alright, then we go back to our storm to the southeast of Memphis. It still looks like we could have some areas of rotation with this. Yeah, looks like we could have areas of... Alright, so, wait. Alright, so this storm is going to continue moving east. I don't think... This storm does have the chance to produce a tornado. Right now, it does seem to have rotation at least. Doesn't look very significant, it does not look like very significant rotation though. It looks to... Yeah, it looks to mainly be a damaging wind and small to moderate sized hail threat. But this is definitely a storm to keep an eye on. Okay, yep, just one tornado warning. We have 2 tornado warnings. We have this one right to the south of Holly Springs. And, yep, we have rotation right to the west of Abbeville. Maybe even 2 circulations with that. So yeah, looking pretty good for this zone right here. On Spotter Network, we don't really have any spotters anywhere in a good spot to get this. The closest one is by Potts Camp. And yeah, so we lost one of our severe thunderstorm warnings in Tennessee. This line does seem to be on the weakening side, but it does still have a pretty good chance of producing damaging winds. So the damaging wind threat's not going to go away. I mean, even once it gets into central Alabama, maybe northern Georgia, it still has a chance to produce maybe some damage, or not damaging winds, but gusty winds. It's just going to be a lot more. It's going to be much more moderated than it is right now in Tennessee. It's not going to be producing like 60, 70 mile per hour wind gusts. All right, so let's go back down to the north of Shreveport. We have this tornado warning here. Doesn't seem to be having. It hasn't had very strong rotation. It does seem it's still very broad, but not really strengthening or weakening. It's very broad rotation now. And let's take a look at CC. Yeah, we don't have a CC drop. All right. And let's go back up to the storm. That is interesting. To the southeast of Memphis. It's actually right to the north of Oxford. And we have this storm. It's right on top of Abbeville almost. We have that rotation. Now we have to wait for the new scan to come in. This is still the 914 one. So let's wait for the new scan to come in. See how long that'll take. I'd expect one to come in probably around 1 or 2 minutes. In 1 or 2 minutes. The storm has had a pretty long history of having circulation with it. But I guess right now it seems to be, yeah, it does seem to be strengthening. So let's wait for this new scan. Yeah, the new scan will probably come in around. Okay, we have to just have it now. Okay, we have decent looking rotation right to the north of Abbeville. Right here, and maybe even a secondary one right here. Also. Now these are going to continue moving to the east. Maybe even the southeast. A little bit. But, yeah, so. Luckily, this isn't in a very populated area. But, like most of the U.S. is, people live almost everywhere. But at least this is not in a city like Memphis or Nashville, because if that was, this would be a pretty bad situation. But this is still a bad situation though. So, you have rotation right there. Let's take a look at CC. We have a decent, the radar is decent for this. Okay, we have no CC drop. It doesn't, or at least we don't seem to have one. We could have one. It's hard to tell. I don't think we do, because this is not a CC drop. Right there. So something like a CC drop from what I've noticed, most of the time it's like, kind of like, not like that, sorry, it's an oval. It's like, I can't draw it too well, but, it's kind of like this. Sometimes not that big, sometimes a lot smaller, and sometimes bigger. It's normal with the shape of it. The closest to it in this image is right there. But I don't think that is a CC drop. And I think that is right in our rotation now. Yeah, it is right. That is right there. Alright, new scan came in for 919. It's still on a string. It's still strengthening. This is not very good at all. We have pretty strong rotation right to the north of Abbeville. This is to the north of Oxford, Mississippi. We have the strong rotation right there. And at least the Memphis radar is scanning every 2 to 3 minutes. Is good. Let's go to CC now. Do we have the new CC scan? Because if we do, that'd be very helpful to see if we have a tornado on the ground. Alright, I don't think we do. Or we don't have a CC drop at least. So I don't know if there's a tornado on the ground right now. We'll have to wait and see. If we can get a CC drop, then we can kind of assume there is a tornado on the ground, but we don't want to call it. I'm only gonna say it's a CC drop if it looks exactly like a CC drop. But yeah, that is pretty strong rotation in that area. We can take a look at. We can get like a. Okay, so we have 65 miles per hour away, and around negative like 40 into it. So that's around 100 miles per hour of delta right there. No, I'm not counting these blue pixels in here. I feel like I think that's just a glitch. But that could be a sign that we do have some pretty strong rotation in this circulation. So I'm glad the National Weather Service of Memphis has issued a tornado warning for this. And quickly, let's go look at this one to the north of Shreveport. See what it is doing. The radar scope is being slow again. Yeah, we can see we have not a whole lot of rotation. I really don't know why they warned this, to be honest. We probably could. If there is a tornado with this, it's a very weak tornado, for sure. Alright, now let's go back up here. Let's use radar Omega for a second. Let's get the Memphis radar going. Oh yeah, so this is our storm to the north of Oxford. And we're about to get the new velocity scan in, so it'll be very interesting to see. No, we still have the 919 one. Alright, 921. This looks very, very bad. Let's go back to the radar scope here. Alright, yeah, this looks like a pretty classic TVS. Kind of that type of shape. That was a very classic TVS for sure. Let's go look at it. Yeah, that looks very bad. Let's go to CC. I don't think we have a CC drop. Let's go to radar scope and look at it again. Yeah, we don't have a CC drop. Yeah, I have been live streaming for over an hour now, so that's, I guess, good. This is the first live stream in 2021, I think. I think my last one was in December. Alright, so yeah, that's very significant rotation. We can let's get a delta. Let's see what we have for delta velocity. Let's use we're gonna use this negative 30, this negative 37 for example. So let's just round up to negative 40. And then we have around 70 right here. So we have around almost 100, around 105, 110 miles per hour delta velocity. It's very tight. It has a pretty classic TVS signature on it. And it's right where I'd expect the rotation to be of this cell here. So I'd say it's definitely possible that we might have a tornado on the ground right now. Yeah, I would expect it to be right where it is, because we have inflow right there with this embedded supercell. And I'm gonna draw it better. So we have inflow right here. I would expect it to be in this area. Now this is likely rain wrapped, and plus it is nighttime, so this is a very dangerous tornado. If it is on the ground, let's not call it a tornado. Let's just say it's a very dangerous storm. All right, so we have the 924 scan. It does look like the rotation has weakened a little bit, which is good, but definitely there could still be a tornado existing with this. With the storm, we still have around negative 30 to around 60, so that's we have around 90 knots of, or not 90 knots, 90 miles per hour of delta velocity. And also this is yeah, and also, yeah, also this is, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, this is a very tight circulation. So, that means more than just 90 miles per hour delta velocity, but it's very broad. Because this is a tight circulation, of course. And we still got nothing in chat. But yeah, while we wait for the new scan to come in on that, let's go down to the Shreveport radar. See what we have for this tornado warning in northwestern Louisiana. Yeah, we still have very broad rotation right to the south of plain dealing. I think that's how you say that. I don't know. Nothing. I really don't know why the tornado warned this. No, I guess it's just to be safe. But I'm very glad they tornado warned this right here. Alright, just checking to make sure we don't have any more tornado warnings. Because we want to make sure we don't miss those. Yeah, in upcoming live streams, I will try and get Andrew on here just to help me. I mean, keep in mind, we're not even at the start, or we're almost at the start of severe weather season. Tomorrow is March 1st, which that's when I think that's when severe weather season starts is March 1st. Or that's what I thought it. That's when I thought severe weather season has started for my whole life. But yeah, I'm pretty positive tomorrow is the official start of severe weather season because it's March 1st, which is also the start of meteorological spring. Alright, so still waiting for the new scan of this. I don't think this is okay. That's I don't want the severe warning. I want the tornado warning. Alright, there we go. Yep. It's still radar indicated. I don't think it's not going to get confirmed. Let's see if we have a CC drop, even though we haven't gotten a new scan yet. I don't think I've looked at this new scan yet. Yeah, we need, this is actually a new scan. It's a 926, and no, we don't have one. So that's good. Wow, that looks. This is a good looking cell, though. Alright, let's take a look at the new velocity scan. Okay, yep, seems like it is re-strengthening. It is changing a little bit, though. Not a classic TVS, but definitely still a strong rotation. We have around 70 knots right there to negative 30. So that's, and once again, around 100 miles per hour delta velocity. So, yeah, still pretty significant. Okay. To go back to reflectivity. And if you guys are watching this stream, thank you. I appreciate it. Alright, so... Okay, new 929 scan. The storm lost its inflow notch. It's now gone. And, that's not good. We have rotation right over Potts Camp, but it does seem like our rotation has died. Could be recycling. It could just be recycling. So let's see. It's going towards Hickory Flat, Blue Mountain, eventually Ripley, and then over to Jumper Town eventually. That's kind of where the storm is going. Now, it's gonna eventually start to move. It's gonna move more southeast. Also. And yeah, so that rotation is right over Potts Camp, so that's not good. We have two areas of rotation, one right here and one right here. And yeah, the warning has now been adjusted. It is now smaller, and they haven't extended it. They just took out areas back here, which is good. We haven't looked up by Nashville yet. We don't even have severe thunderstorm warnings in this area anymore. We also have a ton of flash flood warnings. We have even more now. We have a severe thunderstorm warning up here by Monticello. Let's take a look at that real quick. Let's use the Jackson, Kentucky radar. And yeah, so this storm by Monticello definitely has strong winds. It has that appearance, which normally has very strong damaging winds with this. Not really. Let's not look at velocity. Let's take a look and see what the warnings are. It's for 60 mile per hour winds. I'm surprised it's not for 70, but I guess I understand why. Storm probably doesn't have 70 mile per hour winds with it, and I'm still trying to figure out why. On the National Weather Service of, I'm pretty sure it's a Shreveport. Yeah, the National Weather Service of Shreveport, yeah. I'm trying to figure out why they have this under a tornado warning here. Maybe they saw the tornado warning going because there's some kind of spotter who sees something. I assume that, but that could be why they have it. Or actually, it does seem like maybe we have a little bit more rotation right here. Yeah. Our line of storms is also starting to form to the south. So we have more storms moving sort of northeast. And back in Dallas and Fort Worth, is this, I don't, is this radar working? Okay, it is. Yeah, but in Dallas and Fort Worth, we have not really anything bad or anything significant. Now, these are thunderstorms. These aren't going to really pose or have a chance to produce tornadoes. And that's because dew points are very low. There's barely any moisture. This is behind the cold front also. There's probably just a little bit of lift and maybe like a slight bit of instability to force some thunderstorms. Okay. Let's go back to the rotoscope here. That looks like a CC drop right there. Alright, so is this warning confirmed now? No, it's still radar indicated. Okay, so it seems like our inflow is getting better again. Probably just recycling. I think that's what the storm is doing. Okay, yeah. Very strong rotation to the south of Potts Camp. Right here. Going towards kind of Myrtle and Hickory Flat. We'll have to see what that does. And then with CC. We might have a CC drop right here. I'm not gonna call it a CC drop. I don't think that's a CC drop. It very well could be. It doesn't have the classic appearance of a CC drop though. Which, like I said before, the classic appearance of a CC drop is kind of an oval shape, like this. Not that big. Not that big unless it's a pretty strong tornado. So yeah. Just wait for another scan to come in with velocity to see what the cell is gonna do. So I think the new scan will come in about 1 or 2 minutes. Alright, so let's just wait. Alright, yep, new scan, 934. Still pretty strong rotation right to the west of Hickory Flat. Still, this actually still has the classic appearance of a TBS. A little bit different than the kind that I showed before, like this. I'm sorry, that's a terrible drawing, but this is also, it's a little bit more broad. This is also, this is a kind of a classic appearance of a TBS. I've seen multiple tornadoes look like this on velocity. Let's go to CC, because this is the time we'd be getting a CC drop with this. We don't have a CC drop now. Keep in mind, this is probably pretty high up in the air. Yeah, it's around 5,000 feet up, so that's pretty high, so that could be the reason. So even though we don't have a CC drop, we could very well have a tornado on the ground right now, but we're going to have to see. And if we do, in tomorrow's video, I'm not live streaming tomorrow, but in tomorrow's video, I will tell you guys if this actually did produce and how strong it was. So yeah, it's still 2 tornado warnings. Let's see if I can find a reason for this to exist over here. Let's go to velocity, of course, and look at this. So, I mean, the only rotation that maybe kind of stands out to me maybe is this one right here. But we can't really see because that has range folding, but maybe that could be something, I'm not sure. Let's go back to the Memphis radar, see if we have a, it's going to be another minute before we get, or we could actually get a new scan soon. So let's just wait. Alright, so still no new scan. I guess we can just play the radar here. So we can see back over here. Not really an organized rotation, but actually let's stop this so we can go back here. So that rotation right there, that went across that lake and then really got going once it got right to the north of Abbeville. That's when it got warned, and looked like it was at its strongest stage probably. We just got a new scan in the 937. Now let's see. Alright, definitely has weakened a lot. It's also a little bit more broad, so it could still be on the ground if it even was in the ground in the first place. But all we know is that, or what we know for sure is the rotation has weakened, and it is more broad also. So the chance of the tornado being weaker if it is in the ground, or if the chance of it producing a tornado if it has gone down for right now. Now it could be recycling again. It did recycle briefly right to the south of. Right to like the southwest of Potts Camp, it did recycle before. And luckily now we do have spotters right here. This supercell is looking like a donut hole supercell, or not really a supercell. I'll just call it an embedded supercell. It does have a reflectivity drop right there. So, yeah. Just wait for the new scan to come out, I guess, because there's not a whole lot to look at. I guess we can look at CC. I don't think it's going to have a CC drop, but it is coming in the Hickory Flat. And so it could be pretty bad. Yeah, it does not have a CC drop. Yeah. So let's go back to reflectivity, of course. Yeah, I think we had the new scanning for velocity also. Yep, 939. We still have that reflectivity drop off. We have another one right here also. Let's go back to velocity. Alright, yep. It seems to have maybe strengthened the slight bit again. Or no, wait, I think... Yeah, that'll look really different for... Okay. Yes, this is actually the same scan, sorry. I imagined it being more dull on the 937 scan. But no, this is the same scan. Hopefully it'll weaken again with the next scan. We should have a new scan coming in very soon. Any second now. This tornado warning also expires in 17 minutes, so they're gonna need to extend it soon. Alright, yep, new scan 940. And yeah, it has weakened. We have maybe a rotation right there. The main one's right over Hickory Flat. It's much more broad now. It's much more broad. And it is also weaker now. It is still a pretty... It's still an interesting circulation. It's not like it was, though. And it does seem to either be recycling or weakening, and hopefully falling apart. And let's go to the SPC here, see if we have any reports. So, no tornado reports today. We have in total 6 reports. We have 1 in southwestern Kentucky, and we have 5 hail reports in around the Texas-Oklahoma border. So, let's go look at the mesoscale analysis again. Let's do this sector. Let's go back to SRH. Okay, so that's probably what our storm is living off of. There is 350 0 to 3 kilometer SRH. It's like a little bit of a spike right there in northeastern Mississippi. So it does have that to work with. And also this. I noticed this before. We did have a little bit of a spike of violent tornado perimeter right to the north of it. But still, violent tornado perimeter is kind of like supercell composite and significant tornado parameter. People misuse it. You're not supposed to just look at the numbers. You see, for example, if you have like a... Let's go up in supercell composite here. If you look at supercell composite, you see we have numbers of 4 right here. I mean, some people could think that's where supercells are actually gonna... That's where the best chance of a supercell is gonna happen. But no, we have no supercells in that area. They're all kind of around that, or away from that, kind of spike of supercell composite. Now let's go back to radar scope again. 940. Oh wait, no, I think this is still the same. No, I think it looks a lot weaker than it did before. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, it's weakened again. With the 942 scan, it's much more weak. I'm probably gonna end the stream at 10 o'clock if this continues weakening. Now, I still do not know why this is tornado 1 down here. It's really hard to tell if there's rotation because of range pulling. Alright, yeah, so we have this new severe thunderstorm warning that just came out like 4 minutes ago. They might be planning on taking away the tornado warning if it does not strengthen again. The circulation is still there, though. It's nothing like it used to be, though. But it is still a broad, weak circulation. Right there. Or kind of this whole thing Alright, yeah, new scan, 945. Much more weak once again. I don't think it's recycling at this point. I think it's been weakening for a pretty long time. I think it's probably weakening. Looks like we might have another maybe circulation up to the north, to the northwest of Blue Mountain, to the west of Ripley. I think that's how you say that. Looks like that could be our next circulation, maybe. Alright, so we're just gonna have to, we're gonna come back to that when the next scan comes. Probably in around 2 to 3 minutes. For now, let's go up to the north and see what we have. We don't even have severe thunderstorm warnings anymore. Seems like the storms went through Nashville and then weakened a lot. So that's good. Yeah, really nothing. This line definitely still has damaging winds, but not like it used to. And none of these storms and reflectivity look like they look extremely interesting to me. Alright, so probably gonna get a new scan somewhere in the next like 1 minute. Let's see if this rotation strengthens or if this one dies. I don't think this one's recycling. This one could just be taking all the energy from it. But yeah, so let's just wait a minute for this for us to get the next scan. Alright, well, still the next scan has not come. Probably gonna get very soon. Oh, okay, so it looks like maybe that's okay. So that's where we have our other rotation, and then our weakening ones right here. The storm looks to be going more linear though, for sure. It has a more damaging wind type look to it now. We don't even have the good inflow notch now. Even though this has a more damaging wind type look to it, we still do have the chance of this producing a tornado still. Seems like that threat could be going down a little bit though. Alright, so we still have not gotten the next scan, so I guess let's go check on our tornado warning that was to the north of Shreveport. It's still there. Don't know why. So we don't really have much areas of rotation here. It's a little bit hard to tell because we have range fully taking up about half the warning. But for the area we can see, barely anything. Then we go further to the north. This tornado warning here from the National Weather Service in Memphis was a very good call. Alright, 948 scan. Both of our rotations kind of don't even exist anymore, especially our southern one. Much more weak than it used to be. Which that was the one that could have produced a tornado in this area. So, terrible circle, okay. But this one right here, this one still exists, it's just very broad. It's very broad, not tight, but it does still exist though, so that's something I'm gonna be watching for a while. It's not even in the warning though, so that's not that good. They're gonna either need to cancel the warning or extend it. They do have a large severe thunderstorm warning out though. in front of us, so they might be planning on getting rid of it. So, yeah, I guess let's head up further to the north again. We don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings in this area. Like we did out, that part of the line seems to be weakening a little bit. It still has some gusty winds with it, but not like it did to the when it was, or not like it did when it was back in this area. So let's go down into Texas now. See what we have going on. Let's go to the Shreveport radar. And yeah, so we have our line of storms going all the way down to around Crockett, Texas, with some showers in that area. The actual thunderstorms have started at right about New Summerfield. And then we have some behind the cold front, actually, in this area. Even by Dallas and Fort Worth, there's some thunderstorms over there. They're behind the cold front, though, and there was also terrible moisture over there. But there is enough instability to force some weak thunderstorms over Dallas and Fort Worth. Radar scope just crashed. Kind of sucks. Or yeah, there we go. So yeah, we can see we have a thunderstorm over Arlington and Grand Prairie. Doesn't appear to be anything like significant though. Okay, our tornado warning by Shreveport is now gone, which I think that is good. And our storm has now moved out of this tornado warning, which like I said before, this storm is appearing more linear now. Like it has more of a damaging wind threat. Yeah, we don't really have inflow like we did before. And we go over to velocity. We don't have much rotation at all. We still have this broad one though by Blue Mountain and Ripley in between those two towns. I'm trying to see what this does. Alright, well, guess while we're waiting for the new scan, there is 25 flash flood warnings ongoing, so that is a pretty high number for flash flood warnings. We got them all the way from western Virginia all the way into southern Arkansas. So there's a pretty large area that is under a flash flood warning. Nashville's under one, Clarksville, Tennessee is under one, Bowling Green, Kentucky is under one, and then over into eastern Kentucky. There's really no major cities there, but a pretty large areas under flash flood warnings. And then we have one in western Virginia and eastern West Virginia. No, actually, I'm pretty sure Bowling Green was under a flash flood warning this time, like yesterday night. When I did yesterday's video, I'm pretty sure they were under one. So they've been under one for a pretty long time. Or they've been under two. Alright, so yeah, we still have our tornado warning right here. Still waiting for the new scan to come in. Probably gonna take a while. If they extend the tornado warning, it's probably gonna be something like this, depending on how they draw it. But yes, we can see this rotation here. This is now the 953 scan. The rotation is still there. It's actually got this one. This one seems to have gotten a little bit tighter in this area right here. right by Ripley. So yeah, that's gonna be moving kind of east. Now Boonville is a higher, has more population. We're now in northeastern Mississippi. When I first started the stream, the storm was all the way by Memphis, kind of to the south of it. Yeah, so soon this will be up in northwestern Alabama. Maybe, if this keeps on going, maybe it could impact maybe the north side of Florence, Alabama. It's pretty far out. The storm's gonna have to track it pretty far away. Which, I don't know if it is. The storm will probably make it, but will the circulation? So, yeah. No. I think they're gonna get rid of the tornado warning soon. I'm surprised they haven't already. So we're just gonna have to wait. Alright, I think we have a new tornado warning. I just got a bunch of notifications for it. It's not showing up on Rotoscope, though. I think it's probably for this. Alright, 955 scan. That rotation is still here. It's very broad, though. Could maybe produce something. I don't know. Alright, so... let's wait, because Rotoscope, it takes a second for the warnings to actually show up. Yeah, it takes... sometimes it takes a while. I assume if there is one, it's probably for this. Is there a new tornado warning anywhere? I don't see it. There is one. Okay, there might not have actually been a tornado warning. I just got all the notifications for it at the same time. Okay, so there's probably not even a tornado warning. Alright, but I have, what I would recommend doing to get tornado warning notifications is just following National Weather Service, or NWS Tornado, on Twitter, and then turning on all notifications, so you just get a notification whenever there's a tornado, or not a tornado, but a tornado warning is issued. And you also have other things set up to give me notifications for tornado warnings, like the WX app, which I would recommend getting. It's just called WX. And I think it's on both Android, or the Google Play Store and the App Store. I think it's on both of those. I know it's on the Google Play Store, because I have an Android and I have it. Yeah, so this rotation is still here. It's broad still. Not likely that it's producing something. In fact, it's very likely that it's not producing something. Yeah, like I said, the storm is appearing more and more linear by the scan. The storm looks like this now. Has kind of that straight line appearance, which makes it look more like more of a linear threat. Now let's here. Hope you guys can still hear me. I think, yeah. Nobody's really talking in chat, which is fine. Alright, so, okay, so, they did let the tornado warning expire. I think it's been gone for a little bit. They did not continue it, so it's just there's no tornado warnings anymore. So I'm probably going to end the stream. So thank you guys for watching. And I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'll be streaming the next slight risk that looks good, or the next enhanced risk for sure. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and a good tomorrow. Or I'll be back with another video tomorrow. But yeah.